Sony could now be in the endgame for PlayStation overall. It's basically in the next 2 years we'll decide how PlayStation's future will go, and possibly in the next week as well, as new news comes out for basically their version of the Game Pass. So hopefully we'll be getting something interesting, but in this video what I'm going to be talking about is pretty much why Sony are in this point now where they actually could end up forever losing the console war, which is something that I don't generally care about. Like, I use both consoles, I use PC, so I don't really care who wins. But generally, right now there is a chance that in the next couple of years, PlayStation could be something just basically of the past of gaming. PlayStation have had quite a few issues at this point. One of the issues was at one point cross-platform, which they were really not willing to budge for quite a long period of time with Xbox. They were basically saying, we will do cross-platform with PC players and we'll do it with Switch, but we will not do it with any other console. So it basically meant people were not able to play between PlayStation and Xbox for quite a long period of time until eventually they did give in and you can now do crossplay. However, it took a good few months of this argument and debate to go on in the gaming community for Sony to eventually just cower down and actually accept it. Then you also have the issues with backwards compatibility and even now microtransactions in your games being extremely forced with stuff like Gran Turismo 7, which is honestly very surprising, currently anyway, for Sony. So hopefully this is something that they do fix as best as they can. I know that there's things being said that they will be taking it out of the game, or at least allowing players a little bit easier time to get hold of new things within Gran Turismo, but who knows really. When it comes to the backwards compatibility side of things though, Xbox have been ahead of this for years at this point, so PlayStation really need to do something. I'm not willing to pay for a PlayStation 5 copy of a PlayStation 2 game or PlayStation 3 game. I want to be able to plug my disc in or be able to effectively, let's say, download the game and pay for the game, but not at its full value as what PlayStation would charge for it through the PlayStation Store. However, these aren't the issues that are a make or break for the company. I would say this is down to the Game Pass system of Xbox at this point being a very, very good choice to do for gaming in general. People who love games and want to play a massive category of games will get Game Pass on PC or on Xbox and will love it, and there is rumours, I believe, that it's coming to Switch. So pretty much, you're going to see a world where Xbox ends up dominating across the field. They want PlayStation to give in and accept Game Pass on their consoles. Will Sony do it? Probably not. But when it comes to the Xbox experience, currently you're getting so much more better value for money over there than you are on PlayStation. But yes, we have had rumours now that there's a possibility in the next week or so that we're going to see actual new content from PlayStation about their version of a Game Pass, which could include things like demos being able to be played all the way through to the release of the game itself, which would be interesting and would allow a lot more viewers to be able to make reviews of the game before it releases. Is it really enough, however, to actually keep Sony in the field of gaming? Possibly, but I'm going to go through 3 things that really they do need to fix. Part of them is kind of what I've mentioned already and how I would go about it. Firstly, you've got acquisitions, which generally speaking, I think they need to do more of. Obviously, they acquired Bungie. However, did they really? It's just more of a we're paying them, and I think it's more of a we're doing this as a long-term strategy, so whatever Bungie makes after Destiny, they get exclusivity to it instead of it just being Destiny. But yeah, that is really why Bungie didn't go with Xbox. They probably had talks with Xbox for quite a while. However, Xbox wants the exclusivity rights to it, nothing else. They don't want to care about, you know, you playing on PlayStation or anything like that. They currently want exclusives to deal with Sony's main thing that keeps people playing over on PlayStation. They need to actually start acquiring more high-end companies and companies that are actually going to allow them to release more content every single year than what they do currently. I personally believe that Ubisoft will end up being one of these companies that gets bought out by someone else at some point anyway in the near future. I don't think Ubisoft are going to stay where they are currently. They're a very low stock price. Price keeps crashing, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if someone like Sony decided to come in and buy them for a decent amount of money. Now, where this video stemmed from was a comment section talk that I had on my Ubisoft being purchased out, and someone disagreed with me about me thinking that Sony would buy them out. They were talking about a 10 billion cap on Sony. I tried looking into this, and there's not actually much that 100% proves this is true, and I've looked into it a lot more, and generally there's nothing. Do you really think that 10 billion being given to Sony for a yearly amount of money to pay out on things is going to be something that's an issue for Sony? Sony will turn around and say, we need to win this. We're going to be giving you so much more money to be able to use towards buying massive companies, all that sort of thing. Sony want to stay on top. They survived the entire last generation without any hiccups. Besides, I believe the actual release of the PlayStation 4, I think it was a little bit more money than Xbox. I don't remember, to be honest, it's been a while. But generally speaking, it's something that I think that we need to see. We need to see Sony actually double down on massive companies and buy them out and actually try and improve their state of play, so that there's more exclusives that are available and honestly more budget from Sony to PlayStation. And the new version of Game Pass that they're going to be making for PlayStation, I do think they need to do two things primarily, which is, one, make sure this is available on PC. Don't make it just something that's like a port from PlayStation over to PC, so like you download it and you're basically met with the PlayStation UI, that sort of thing. I think it's a case of you make it similar to Steam, or it can be bought through Steam, and then that way you get access to all the PlayStation exclusives, you get access to a load of different games in the catalogue. Honestly, I don't know really what they would put in there that is going to be enough to persuade people to drop Game Pass. If not, it will be the case of both companies effectively buying the rights to games for a period amount of time, and then they're just going to swap between the different companies over and over again until one company decides to completely buy out. And the other one is, honestly, I really hope that Sony makes sure their exclusives are all available on their version of Game Pass. If they try to do anything like, oh, you get access to these exclusives, but not these exclusives, then honestly, they're going to lose straight away. Because people want to play the exclusives, they're not going to pay a monthly fee just to basically be told, you can get them in like half a year's time or a year's time, but as you have our version of the Game Pass, you can get a discounted price on it. So yeah, hopefully they just do it as a PC-friendly service, which also will allow them to get into that market share instead of it just being Xbox completely dominating. Now, the last major area really is backwards compatibility. Really, all we have to say is sort it out. That's about it. I believe everyone who loves PlayStation games and loved the games on, let's say, the PlayStation 2 or 3 all agree that things like backwards compatibility need to just be a standard at this point and allow people to use their prior consoles on these. Allow people to use the prior console games on their PlayStation, for example, is something that needs to be a standard at this point. You can do it on Xbox, so I don't see why you can't do it on PlayStation. But that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a bit more of a off the top of my head generally for all of these points. Main reason why is just because this was kind of a quick video that I made. I literally scripted mini bits of it today. The conversation that took place for this was all kind of today. I did a little bit of research into the actual, background of what was being said in these comments. It's not the case that I necessarily disagree with the guy on a lot of what he says in the comments section, which is in the Ubisoft acquisition video that I made, but generally speaking, I would say that Sony aren't in as bad of a situation that I think people think they are. They're a very smart company. I think they will find a way to basically keep themselves in the game. However, I do think that they need to really start cashing out on bigger companies to actually get bigger games being released and have more than just Insomniac basically carrying PlayStation at this point. No matter what anyone says, things like Horizon Forbidden West may have sold decently, however it was completely overshadowed by games like Elden Ring, and then God of War Ragnarok, hopefully it'll be an amazing game. I have no doubts that it will be. However, they need to make sure that, one, it doesn't get overshadowed by a massive game again, but also it needs to actually be an amazing game. If it's not, generally speaking, people will just look at it as just a worse version of the original God of War. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and do subscribe to see more content on this channel. I upload gaming content every single Friday and upload whatever I want on Wednesdays. I also upload a gaming critique roughly once a month. At this current point, it's not like that because I'm having more time to actually make these videos, but also trying to make a really good game critique for things like Red Dead 2, which is the next one down the pipeline. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.